Hello. Mr. J has a day off today, so he has spent the morning doing his bits and pieces up in his study, and this afternoon has been helping out in the garden. We decided we'd have a go at getting the recycled pallet raised bed completed. So we collected some really big pieces of tree trunk from some of the sycamore trees that were cut down about 18 months ago and have been outside, just sitting outside in a pile seasoning. We put some of those into the bottom of the raised bed and I filled round them with wood chippings. Fixed in a cross brace. And each time Mr. J brought over a wheelbarrow full of wood chippings, I would then push them down and compact them and make sure they were going around and filling all the gaps between the tree trunks and the logs that were in there. So hopefully there are very few spaces around each piece of wood. These were oak and pine shavings, so we decided to pour all of those in at one end and again push them down in between the logs. Mr. J suggested that we did an experiment to see whether the moisture retention at one end is better than the other. So at the one end it's all wood chippings packed down in between the branches and logs. And at the other end there are some wood chippings at the bottom but mostly wood shavings over the top of that. So that will be interesting. Then another layer of small logs and branches. And then we walked around the garden and collected any pots that had used compost in them from annuals previously. This huge planter was on the wall of the house when we moved in. It's got a coir lining, so that's a coconut lining, and this is really good stuff. This will definitely hold the moisture. And again, pushing it down and tamping it down between the logs and the branches. So on top of all of that, I've added some more wood chippings, some bought-in compost, some homemade compost, and some partially composted wood chippings. So I'm not going to plant in it just yet. I want the water to go on it, and I want it to settle a little bit, see how much more I need to add into it. So I'm going to dig up a bit of soil out of the garden, probably over in the duck enclosure, and add that in as well. So we've got the microorganisms from in there and some of the worms, and that just needs a few days to settle. But it's looking good. I am really pleased with how it's looking. And not only that, but what a great afternoon's work. Well, that's it for me today. I think this afternoon has been a fairly productive one. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one. And I also hope you can join me again tomorrow.